Welcome back to MyTV 53 News at 8:30. I'm Haley Gears, and today I'm here with Mona, the CEO of Tree Fresno. Welcome, Mona.
Thank you.
So, please tell us, what is Tree Fresno?
Tree Fresno is a small nonprofit organization based here in Fresno, serving the Central Valley, serving Fresno, Madera, Kings, and Tulare counties. And what we do is we expand the urban tree canopy across the Central San Joaquin Valley.
Very cool. How do you guys do that?
We do that by planting trees with partners. Mostly we work with cities and schools, even private enterprise, various nonprofits, with the mission of getting more trees in the ground.
And do you guys just plant them anywhere?
No.
Okay.
For urban tree planting, it's a lot more complicated than that.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of planning and permitting involved. And if you can imagine, in the urban space, you have a lot of concrete infrastructure, asphalt, etc. And sometimes we're planting in medians, along highways, in neighborhoods. So all of that requires a lot of planning.
I'm sure, yeah.
Sometimes from start to finish, it can be up to 2 years for a project to actually be planted.
Okay, so you guys do projects at a time, and you're working with the people in that area to bring those to fruition.
Sure. So we actually usually have a project partner. So say, for instance, we plant a lot with the city of Fresno.
Gotcha.
They have a goal of planting 1,000 trees per year for their tree ordinance. And so we may plant in a park. We may plant again along streets, in medians. And we can also work with residents, homeowners in that neighborhood when they request trees from the city.
Cool. And how long has Tree Fresno been around for now?
So Tree Fresno was started about 38 years ago.
Very cool.
And started by a small group of concerned citizens that thought the tree was probably a really good solution to a lot of our problems here in the valley, including extreme heat, lack of shade, and then poor air and water qualities.
Especially as of late, I feel like. Do you feel like over the past few years, because there has been more forest fires and things like that, that your guys' mission has become a bit more important?
Very much so. In fact, it's considering urban tree planting in some ways offsets what is destroyed in forest fires and along areas that butt up against the forest, like urban areas up against the forest. So the great thing about urban areas is that by working with partners like cities and counties and other partners, is that they can help provide tree care and maintenance for those trees into the future. So it's extremely important to have more and more trees where people live so that we can reap the health and environmental benefits of more trees.
So you guys don't just plant them and leave. You guys stay there for the process and make sure that they grow and they're healthy.
We do. Most of our grants are received through California Climate Investments through the state of California.
Okay, very cool.
We have partners with CAL FIRE and the California Air Resources Board. And typically those grants last 3 years.
Okay.
So Tree Fresno does its best to help establish those small trees during the 3 years. And then our partners, again, cities and private property owners, or depending on who we're working with, parks, they actually take on the long-term care and maintenance.
Gotcha.
And those trees can survive between 75 and 100 years. That's the goal.
That's very cool. And is this all local? All the trees come from California?
They sure do.
Very cool.
Absolutely. So we have a variety of native species, and then we also have a variety of species that help diversify and that are able to withstand the urban landscape. Because sometimes we plant along highways and areas to where they're exposed to lots of pollutants and environmental sort of pressures. So it's really, really important to diversify that range of species, and they're carefully selected to be large shade trees.
Okay, so there's a lot more that goes into it than originally meets the eye. So is everyone a part of this organization volunteering their time then?
So we have a core staff of 4 at Tree Fresno. We have a volunteer coordinator.
Small team.
Yes, we have an accounts manager, office manager. We have me, who I coordinate the
Big
projects
boss
with our partners. And then we have a tree technician who's really important. He's also a certified arborist. But we actually have hundreds of volunteers each year that come out ultimately to help us plant those trees in their neighborhoods and communities.
So how can people get involved if they're thinking, well, that sounds like a good idea, I'd like some trees in my neighborhood?
It's easiest to just go to our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and look for Tree Fresno. And that's where we post information about the projects that we plant, about our partners, about our funding resources, and about the next planting that's coming up. At our website, they can actually sign up for a newsletter that will send them a notification anytime that we need volunteers. We reach out and we say, hey, Tree Fresno needs volunteers in 2 weeks. Come out on a Saturday and plant for a couple hours.
Very cool. And I have to know, this has been your guys' mission for now 38 years, you said.
Yes.
Do you feel like it really does make a difference having all these trees around? Like it's more than just shade, but health benefits and environmental benefits.
Absolutely. And if you want to know what kind of a difference that it makes, actually look outside of your office building. Pay attention on your drive to work each day and imagine that terrain without trees here in the valley. So we do reap benefits from that. Our intention is actually not only to beautify and not only to provide shade, but each of these trees actually lowers greenhouse gases and reduces the impact of extreme heat and climate change. So it's extremely important, and that can all be calculated, and that's all what goes into our grants. But for the average person, they can come out and help volunteer to plant a tree, and then when they see that tree again in the future, they know that they've helped to make the world a better place.
That's very cool. You guys heard it here. Go look at Tree Fresno. Get involved, volunteer, maybe plant a tree or two. Thank you very much, Mona, for coming on and talking to us today.
Thank you. I appreciate the invitation.
Of course. I'm Haley Gears with MyTV 53.
Let's plant.